Hello everybody, what is going on? It is GZTV. Back with another video, and in this video we are going to talk about the mid-season finale for Season 8 of The Walking Dead. I'm sorry about the glare, we're just gonna have to deal with it for now. I gotta leave for class here in like a little over 25 minutes, so I'm probably gonna get this video out, do a little bit of homework real quick, like a quick little assignment. I got a freaking exam today, wish me luck. I think I'll do pretty decent on it, I don't know. So, in the wake of Daryl and Tara's attack on the sanctuary that unintentionally allowed the Saviors to escape, Savior lookouts open fire on Rick, Jadis, and scavengers. Rick is abandoned by the scavengers, so he kind of has to fend for himself. And by the way, this is a spoiler review. We talk about what happens in the episodes, so if you haven't watched this episode yet, you probably should go do that before, which maybe takes the purpose out of a review out, but I don't know, I guess a review is supposed to be for like recommendations and stuff like that. Someone usually watches a review to see if something's good or not, but yeah. Suddenly, Rick is rescued by Carol and Jerry. The three decide to split up to warn the allied communities. With the sanctuary now back under their full control, Negan and the Saviors launch a counterattack against the militia. I guess that's their group name. At Alexandria, Carl sits alone in a room in contemplation and writes a letter to his father. Elsewhere, Aaron and Enid decide to try to make up with the Oceanside community, whose guns they took to fight the Saviors, by bringing them a truck full of alcohol from a nearby brewery. You know, making amends, I suppose. Waiting outside the community at night, Aaron is attacked, but Enid shoots his attacker, which turns out to be Natanya, the leader of Oceanside. Shoots and kills her. It's kind of unfortunate, and you kind of feel bad for Oceanside. Like, you guys intruded on their land, and obviously they're going to become hostile and offensive, especially with, like, the Saviors being a thing. And then you just shoot her grandma, Cindy's grandma. The two are then surrounded by other Oceanside members. Cindy mourns her grandmother. I'm surprised not one of them didn't get shot, like Enid or Aaron. Like, that's kind of like a plot convenient device. I feel like one of them probably should have died there, given they just shot their leader. Like, could you imagine what happened if Rick got shot at it? Oh my goodness, it'd be a full-out war. So, back at Alexandria, Carl prepares to deliver more food to Sadiq, but is unexpectedly interrupted by Negan, who orders the community to surrender over a loudspeaker outside the walls. Yeah, they made their way out, no one expected that, yada yada yada. Prepared to torch Alexandria to the ground, Negan is interrupted by Carl, who appears over Alexandria's walls. You know, he's kind of trying to, like, play hero here. Carl tries to talk sense into Negan, offering willing to give up his life, like he's willing to sacrifice, and, you know, he's asking all of these sort of, like, moral questions to Negan, like, is this who you want to be, type of stuff. And I mean, yeah, it's true. Like, are you sure you want to be this type of person, this type of, like, asshole to this community? However, this is a distraction to allow all of the Alexandria residents escape in the sewers. That's like their escape plan, I guess. They kind of planned this for a while, because obviously Negan had full control at the beginning of this thing. Acting as decoys, Daryl, Michonne, Tara, and Rosita drive and smash trucks in the walls at the back of the safe zone and through a roadblock of Savior vehicles purposefully arranged ineffectively by Dwight. A chase ensues. Yeah, so they get through. You know, Dwight's working subliminally, I guess you could say, on the Alexandrian side. Good boy, Dwight. Good boy. Dwighty boy. Meanwhile, Maggie, Jesus, and a large convoy of Hilltop residents head presumably towards the sanctuary to meet up with the Alexandrians in the hopes that the Saviors will surrender, but obviously there's a little bit of dramatic irony, because little do they know that the Saviors actually escaped the sanctuary. However, a group of Saviors overtake the convoy, revealing that they have captured Jerry en route to the hilltop. Simon appears and approaches Maggie's car. And someone dies here, of course. Simon then orders Maggie to give up her convoy's firearms to the Saviors, or else Jerry and everyone else will be shot. Maggie agrees. Before the convoy can head back to the hilltop, Simon shoots and kills one of the people inside Maggie's car. As punishment, it was Neil. I don't really remember who Neil was, but yeah. Upon returning to the hilltop, Maggie executes one of the Savior's prisoners, Dean, in retribution, and orders the hilltop to be fortified. Dean was the guy that tried to kill Tara and Jesus when they were taking over an outpost. Body for body. At the kingdom, Gavin and a force of well over a dozen Saviors have gathered up the citizens for an announcement. It's Gavin proclaims that the kingdom and whatever they produce are now property of the Saviors. All able-bodied residents will be taken to the sanctuary to see to its repair and refurbishment to kind of recover from the zombie invasion and all the explosions and the shots going through the windows and that type of stuff. And he announces that his men will make the kingdom their home due to the destruction of their former residence. So they're just going to take over, some of the militia. Is that what the militia is called? The militia's homes as their own since they destroyed the sanctuary. And they'll probably live in the sanctuary and fix all that stuff up. Ezekiel, who had sneaked away, creates a distraction that allows the residents to escape into the nearby woods. Infuriated by Carl's ruse, Negan orders his men to launch grenades into Alexandria. Several buildings and houses are razed. I'm sure that's what he planned pretty much to do. Negan's troops smash their way through the front gate and pour into the community while Carl provides cover through smoke bombs before he escapes to the sewers and joins the rest of the Alexandrians. Concurrently, the pursuing Savior group is led into an ambush set by Daryl's convoy. Dwight begins to kill several Saviors to really show his loyalty because at first, they are uncertain. It is an apocalypse. You never know what could happen. However, Laura, a high-ranking Savior, catches Dwight in the act of betrayal and shoots him in the arm and then escapes. So kind of like a hit-and-run type of thing. Give him a blow, a blow to the chest or the arm. I'm surprised she didn't die, honestly, but yeah. In the aftermath of the firefight, Dwight joins Daryl and company, who then descends into the sewers as Alexandria burns. Michonne remains above ground at the sanctuary. Eugene helps the ill Gabriel and Dr. Harlan Carson escape to the hilltop colony, though Eugene fears Gabriel may not make it. At the kingdom, Carol encounters the residents and finds Ezekiel, who locks himself in the kingdom to face the Saviors alone, with Morgan observing this from a distance and possibly being able to spy in and plan a sneak attack. A lot of stuff. They kind of go back and forth between different storylines at this point in the episode. Amidst the bombardment, Rick eventually arrives and sees the town in flames. He rushes to his house to look for Michonne, Carl, and Judith, only to find Negan awaiting his arrival, and they have a pretty badass fight, honestly. This did not disappoint. I love the hand-to-hand combat between these two here. Is this the first time they've ever done that? Maybe not. No, it wasn't. They had a big fight at the sanctuary when they first invaded it. The two brawl, but Rick, severely injured, manages to escape and meets with Michonne. The couple descend into the sewers and meet up. They kind of regroup with the rest of the Alexandrian. Here comes the heartbreak, the absolute heartbreak, the absolute cliffhanger. Obviously, every mid-season and season finale need a cliffhanger, so here it is. Joining the surviving Alexandrians, they find Carl looking sweaty and tired. Carl lifts his shirt, showing them a walker bit on his abdomen. So, devastated and stunned, Rick and Michonne comfort Carl as they take in the horror of what must come next. They know exactly what's about to happen. Yeah, they know exactly what's about to happen, and it's so unfortunate. I think he was trying to save Sadiq and got bit, so that's what happened. When you get bit, that's got to be the worst fucking feeling ever, right? This is a decent episode, on Rotten Tomatoes has a 64%, 6.08 out of 10, 28 reviews. Few surprises and far too many dumb decisions. Is this really how it's got to be, man? Despite all the big events, so much of how it's got to be is boring and so little of it makes sense. Obviously, it's just the cliffhanger that's really good. The episode distinguished itself from its season 8 predecessors by having a decent amount of real weight, real consequences, and a certain sense of closure thanks to the fatal wounding of one of the show's founding characters. So in that regard, it sort of towers over the other chapters a bit. Still, nothing came to a complete close here. And yeah, a lot of loose ends. Obviously, Carl's going to die unless some miracle happens and they use some plot convenience, which would probably be stupid at this point. The episode had problems with pacing and staging. The structure of the first half of the season was woefully unsatisfying. Carl's revealed fate was, you knew someone was gonna get bit at this point, but the reveal made up for it. It's a really effective moment. 3 out of 5 on Den of Geek. The episode really feels like the first half of a 2-part story, and it effectively ties up all the different storylines from the first half. Carl's death was, I think it was shocking. Some people say it's predicted, but that's just kind of some hater shit. The King, the Widow, and Rick, that episode wasn't great. They played it safe. They put main characters into situations that the audience knows they'll survive. C- and IndieWire. Since it's the mid-season finale, basically every named character gets at least one line in the dialogue. But the biggest focus is poor old optimistic Carl, who grew a pesky conscience between seasons. And yeah, obviously probably one of his last episodes on the show, and oh man, that sucks. It sucks that he dies, but they have to do something like that. But anyways, leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it has been GCTV giving you guys the best TV content. We've been reviewing this. We've been reviewing Dexter. There's a brand new Dave episode coming out this week. So every Thursday, we're going to be reviewing the new Dave.